Hello, my name is Recky. Welcome back for another reaction. We got a new channel today. It's Wolters World, and the video we're gonna watch is the don'ts of visiting United States. It's about 14 minutes long, so there's probably a lot of don'ts, and I'm gonna be excited. I am excited to learn of all the don'ts when I actually go over there. Well, I've already been there, but I didn't know the don'ts back then, and it's gonna be fun to know. If you want to check out Wolters World, the link for his channel is available in the description, as well as for this video we're going to watch. And thank you so much to my Patreons and my channel members. Thank you so much. Thank you. And shout out to the Supreme Tier donators over by Patreon, and of course on channel membership. Personal shout out to the ultimate supporters, a friend, Deja, Walt, and Tammy. Now, let's learn stuff. Let's learn stuff.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable, okay?
Well, I think that's basically Sweden too. I think that's most of the people. I mean, I don't know if anyone actually would like randomly touch people. So that feels like a given to me. Let me know what you think about the first one.
Okay, so make sure you give them a little distance when you are there, you know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, be like, Mark, how's it going, all this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like, that's just how it is. Here, yeah, space is key.
Probably.
The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were throughout Europe and South America, we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places.
And that's the perfect thing about Sweden. You can take a bus anywhere. Anywhere. Train anywhere.
Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around with public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, and middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here, okay? So just have a heads up for that.
I guess I can kind of agree with that when it comes to like out in the sticks. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I had a buddy of mine. He lived about half an hour. I live in the city. He lived outside the city, and I remember I wanted him to come to me, and we're gonna have some, hang out for a bit. And it was a Sunday, and there was like two buses going, one in the morning, one in the evening, and that was kind of boring. But that was it. I guess I kind of agree with that. That is kind of lame. Yeah, let me know what you think about this one.
And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, I'm going to do, from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. Yeah. I mean, a lot of travelers that are like, I'm going to fly into New York, grab a car, drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to L.A. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're going to spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. Yeah, so what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England. Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that. Or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that. But also, it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car.
Wow.
No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start to think, that kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through.
And I complain when there's like more than an hour to drive. Nah, it's too far. No, Ricky, don't drive more than an hour.
Okay, this isn't like, oh, I
Cool,
must stop
love
every
that.
2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax. I know other countries, they have VAT, value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, oh, it's $1 or €1, oh, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot...
Wait, so if I buy a thing that says $2.50, and when I go to the cash register, they're gonna add more on it, like tax. Is that a thing?
Tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes. And some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales tax. It can be different anywhere you go. So if you're gonna go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not gonna be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's gonna be $1.08. The other one, it's gonna be $1.09. So be ready for that.
Okay.
And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the US, you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant.
And that is kind of cool, due to the fact that that's not really a thing in Sweden. Of course, you can if you want to, but it's not a thing because, to my knowledge, Swedes that work in like I say, a restaurant, they have a pretty good salary. There's no like minimum. They don't live off the tips. And I read something. You might actually correct me here, but when you work as a waitress or some sort, a majority of the cash you get in is the tips. But that's not a thing in Sweden because they have a salary. They don't need it. They can have it. I'm pretty sure they collect it in a jar somewhere and it just portion out to each and every one of them who works there. Let me know if I'm completely wrong with this one.
Okay, now McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place, but it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the US, there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the US. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and this tipping isn't the right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that. But they don't, okay? So tipping is something we do here in the U.S., so do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're going to want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it. Also with that is don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad.
That is not something you get in Sweden. No, definitely not. And this is something I really like about United States when it comes to the restaurants. When you get in, you sit down, you get a batch of bread and maybe even some butter while you wait, and that is just included, like breadsticks and stuff. We don't have that in Sweden.
Oh no, that comes with your meal, okay? Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out, all right? You actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the US. If you're smoking cigarettes in the US, people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it, which is
Wow.
funny because
I
when they
didn't
talk
know
about
that.
marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much. But cigarettes,
Oh my
oh,
God,
you're
yeah.
trying to kill
Oh
my
my,
baby.
don't get me that tobacco, but you can smoke marijuana if you want to. Well, it's basically the same in Sweden. And when it comes to smoking, it's kind of frowned upon. That's basically it. I used to smoke, and I get that. I get that. I mean, I walk out of the store, and there's a bunch of morons standing just outside the entrance to the store and smoking. So you got to walk out, and you got to inhale everything that they just put out. That can be kind of frustrating. So I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Sweden.
Baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot
Underwater?
of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke free.
Yep.
It's smoke free.
Yep.
So you have to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things. So that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't. And that is, don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you.
That is a weird thing in Sweden when it comes to age and alcohol. Uh, 18, you can go out to bars and drink as much as you want to, of course. But in Sweden, we don't have liquor stores. We have a government-run store that is authorized to sell alcohol. You cannot go in any store in Sweden to buy alcohol. No, it's I think it's like monopolized, if I know what I mean, by the government. So you can get you can get beer in any store, but it's like you cannot get drunk on that. Well, you gotta drink a ton of it to get drunk of that. But to go there, you gotta be 21, I think, and 18 for bars, which doesn't make any sense. I might be wrong. I'm just messing things up now.
And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, tried to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's
Same.
not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they
Yeah.
want to buy liquor, or
Yeah.
they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
So just FYI on that one.
Good.
Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is, don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons, pounds, things like that.
Yeah.
And I'll put a conversion chart here to show you. But honestly, you may say, hey, how
Okay, so 1 gallon is 3.7 liters, almost 4 liters. Okay, 1 foot is 30 centimeters. 1 yard is 09 meters. Some base 1 yard is almost 1 meter. 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. 1 pound is 0.45 kilos. 12 ounces is 355 milliliters. So that's going to be roughly 3.5 deciliters. Yeah, I'm gone.
far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles, it's about 100 kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay?
Yeah.
Because metric, we don't do that so much here. So our next don't is, when you do come to the US, there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? One is gun control, and two is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics, talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nicer if it was sunny today and we could go sailing? Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics.
Yeah, I
Just
get
putting that one
Yeah.
out there for you right
I hear
now.
you.
Now, my next note for you is, don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European.
Yeah, I think that's basically it. The stereotyping. That's even a word. But I think that's basically all over the world. As it's a typical Swede. and that guy is a typical American.
Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and when you
sense.
come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other, and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too.
Oh,
not
really?
just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff. There are those. So don't assume it's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do.
That actually looked like Sweden when it comes to Maine.
And you start to understand, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there.
Who? Don't say the U.S. has no culture? That doesn't make any sense. It's kind of rude. It's kind of dumb. Who said that? Who says that? Doesn't make any sense.
If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston. Here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true, because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and then that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say, everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well, I was just saying, how are you? Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France, ça va, ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good? You answer back, tudo bem, everything good.
In Sweden, especially down in my region, it's basically what's up is annals. Annals. It's basically what's up. Normally you get an answer, but not often. Well, not on a regular basis you get an answer, but it's just basically the same thing as you guys have, like what's up. It's like annals.
It's just how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So stay at the hotels in the U.S., and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things.
Wow. 13 is actually the bad number. I think that's not a, I'm going to say that's not a thing in Sweden. So if you go to a hotel that got 15 like floors, there's gonna be a 13,
which is really nice. So don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in
Come on, Ricky, don't skip eating anything.
Connecticut. We've been having lobster and clams, and oh my god,
now I'm hungry.
Clam chowder. Oh, my tummy is just like more. It's fantastic. When I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my god, the food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, Healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive, and just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right, so if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance, so in case you do get sick, or you do break an ankle, or you do break an arm, or something.
I'm pretty sure that if I go to the United States as a visit and I get sick or injured, that's not going to be a problem for me because I'm insured by my own country. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I'm not going to go into it because I'm going to say a lot of Swedish words you guys won't understand. We got an insurance company that is run by the government.
Something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive, okay? So make sure you're prepared for that.
Unfortunately, that's
And I guess my
true.
last note I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So, those are our don'ts for visiting the U.S. What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there. I just want to get some of these out there to help out travelers heading to the U.S., just so we can get things going. Anyway, if you like videos like this, we have stuff on what the don'ts of going to Russia, the don'ts of going to Germany, the don'ts of going to Brazil and things like that. And we really like helping travelers with honest travel advice. So, if you like this video, do click that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, and we put new travel videos out every Wednesday and Saturday to help great travelers just like you. So I'll say bye from Connecticut and have a great time in the U.S. because don't worry, you will. It's a fantastic place.
Okay.
Lay off those topics.
Okay, calm down, Recky. First of all, I really enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed that. Of course, there was a lot of things that is like I'm not going to say a given. Unfortunately, healthcare is a thing in the United States, and it's really unfortunate that's a thing. But I really like this one. If there's anything else you want to add, maybe when it comes to a bit more local, when it comes to state per state, it's different between Arizona and Texas, whatever. You know what I mean. Let me know in the comment section the don'ts of your state. I would love to see the entire comment section just flood with the don'ts stateside. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Roundhouse kick the like button and hit that subscribe. Want to become one of the awesome people? Click join to become a member or check out my Patreon. Link will be available in the comment section. Until next time, I'm Recky. You better stay safe.